Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to this episode of ATS Showcases, and today we are here in Hobbs, and we're going to be hauling some forklifts up to Amarillo, but today we are driving this Kenworth W900, and it's got a very special engine under the hood, and that is the Cummins N14 straight pipe engine. It is an amazing sound mod that is available on the Steam Workshop. It is incredibly popular right now, and I'll have a link for it down in the description below, but let's go ahead and get it started up and get on the road. Doesn't it just sound amazing? Let's go ahead and go in the interior, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to go ahead and start with the windows down on either side, and I'm going to stop talking for once, and we're just going to pull out of here and let you listen to the amazing sound set as it revs up through the RPM range. It is an amazing mod, so many layers to it. Isn't it just a thing of beauty? Oh man, engine mods are so good here, and I mean, there's so many great ones out there. Obviously, I've been using the engine and transmission compilation mod for a while, and why don't we go ahead and just kind of roll up the windows here for the little bit here, because we've got to talk about a few things, but we'll still be able to hear the engine, and of course I'll go to the exterior plenty. But there's so many great sound mods free on the Steam Workshop. As I was saying, I use the engine and transmission compilation mod quite a bit just for the sake of, well, it sounds amazing, all the different engines included within it, but it's also very easy, it's very plug and play. There's plenty of other ones. Of course, JC Amateurs are another top kind of overall pack. But this individual engine, and there's actually another one from this author, which I will be doing in the very next ATS showcase. It is the Detroit Diesel 60 series. It is another amazing mod, and sounds really good. Plenty of options for the engines as well. This is actually the 14 liter, as far as I can remember, of the N14. And overall, it is a beautiful piece of kit. Sounds so great. So many different layers to it, and that's the biggest thing. And so busy intersection here, my word. Let's see if we can just kind of bully our way out of here. It's a little risky. We're going to let the bus go through. We don't need an accident today, and we're going to actually go after this white car there. Let's go ahead to the exterior and listen to this engine once again. Oh, that was very close. Once again, amazing stuff. Sorry for the little bit of a weird clip there. Maybe I'll try and fix that in editing. The cinematic camera decided to end abruptly after just starting another transition. Don't know what it did there, but I'm just gonna move on with it. So let's talk about a few things. Obviously, it's been a little bit since I've had an ATS showcase. Unfortunately, there's been some delays and a few things that have been happening where I haven't been able to do a longer form episode. But it's great to be back here in ATS, and of course, doing another amazing engine mod, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the video so far. But let's talk about Kansas. We had a guess where we are blog post come out not too long ago now, and it was really great to have the interaction on that Prime News, and I'd highly recommend you guys checking that out if you haven't seen that so far. It is an amazing blog post for many reasons, mainly just because it gives you guys, the amazing community, a chance to, well, give your thoughts on what the different screenshots could be. And for those who know the area well, and especially for those who are from Kansas, or as I just mentioned, know the area in a pretty decent fashion. Gives you a chance to, well, teach me and also the others in the community as well. And of course the comment section was amazing in that video. That's just normal, honestly. You guys are truly incredible with that, and there was plenty of information there, and I definitely learned a few things about Kansas and some things that you guys wanted to see, and I do agree on a few of the different landmarks and a few things that people pointed out. Overall, it is really great to have another blog post, on the Kansas DLC, as it is one of the upcoming states. Obviously, we've got Oklahoma coming first, but Kansas is right after that. And honestly, because of the size of both Kansas and Oklahoma, it's not too far out of the picture to be able to have, well, both DLCs releasing in more quick succession. Not necessarily the case, but we're gonna hope for that. I think a lot of us can agree it'd be great to have some DLCs coming sooner than later. And the other blog post we've had in a little bit of an interim since I've done an ATS showcase is another California rework blog post. That one on phase 3, or I should say another one on phase 3, talking about mainly the eastern part of the state. The state overall in the eastern part of California, for those who know, is a lot more of kind of Nevada desert-like, but there are still quite a few interesting things, and that, of course, the entire area has kind of been revamped anyways. That really hasn't changed. The whole rework is, well, basically ground up anyways. So a lot of the area in the eastern areas that are more desert-like have still had major overhauls, especially in the road networks, and there's new roads coming in, some different connecting roads as well, which is really nice to see. This one mainly just talked about the eastern section primarily, and some of the infrastructure around that. Also, the agricultural inspection stations were also included kind of within that blog post to a certain degree. For those who have been following the California rework for some time, you will know that in phase 1 and 2 we've had various inspection stations come in, and there's plenty of details on that, and some more of those will be coming in on the few major routes. For those who don't know, those agricultural inspection stations, kind of in a long story short, are really an ATS just to simulate the real-world inspections that happen for commercial cargo that go between the borders. So it's just the way it is. And so in ATS, although there's not technically inspection of the cargo, it's just a more realism sake thing. So it just acts as another weigh station basically for your cargo. You just have to pull in, stop, you get approved, and so on and so forth. I don't actually know if you can get declined on it, in all honesty. That's not something I know of if you can. It'd be kind of actually interesting. Oh, we've actually discovered Lubbock, or Lubbock. Lubbock, whatever. Lubbock. I can't pronounce stuff for my life. You guys know that. That's no new thing there. But no, it's great. Oh, we're drifting across the lane there a little bit. Sorry there, car behind me. Didn't mean to do that. But no, it's great to have those kind of things in ATS. Realism-wise, some will say, is it really worth it if you can't really get inspected for that, and if, there's no real penalty to taking stuff whatever across the borders? It's a toss-up, but the fact that those things are there in real life, I'd rather have them there just for realism's sake and for visual sake as well, than just have open road. It's the way it is. Some will have different opinions on that, but that's just my 2 cents. I decided to come back to the W900 today. I mean, in all honesty, I had to kind of do, well, really a Kenworth, just for the sake of the Cummins. I mean, there's plenty of other trucks that use Cummins as well, don't get me wrong, but especially with the N14 and kind of the configuration we're using, it kind of made sense to use the W900. Now, some of you may say, well, it's actually used, oh, there's a bridge there. It's kind of used in other trucks and more popular wise, but in ATS, and for the truck I decided to use today, because this is of course the stock W900, the reworked version obviously, but the stock one in ATS, decided to go with it instead. I would have actually done like the Peterbilt 389. I'm pretty sure it would have used the N14 potentially, but I decided, you know what, let's not do that. Just kind of stay with the more reworked versions of the trucks. Now let's go ahead and run some more engine braking here, and maybe actually apply some brakes as well, because we're gonna have to go left here again. Texas interchanges. a little bit complicated. Luckily, I've actually navigated this so far, or okay so far, I guess I should say. But this is actually a very interesting interchange. It's almost like a diverging... It's almost like a diamond, but elevated and not. That was probably the most chaotic way for me to explain that, but whatever. We're gonna go with it. Yeah, it's just I'm not used to these intersections. Here in Canada, for those who don't know, I am from Canada. I don't really recall ever having to drive on intersections that are anywhere like this. Now, saying that, maybe it's just the area that I'm in. I don't know. But it's still, it doesn't feel, it just doesn't feel the same. Let's put it that way. The intersections I'm used to are more kind of flowing like this, or more flowing, I should say, not a more, well, complicated. That's the best way to put it. Just, it's not so thought intrusive. Oh, I think I'm right up against the barrier, haven't I? Aw, man, just clipped the lip there. Let's go back a little bit. This is a kind of an annoying trailer, to be honest, to drive, because it is the kind of double configuration of the ownable lowboy, but it is very, very, it just doesn't tow nicely. At least that's what I find. It just likes to cut the corner really bad. And that sounds bad considering it is a truck, and it's a long wheelbase truck as well, so that doesn't help. The W900 isn't necessarily the greatest on handling in terms of, well, especially with the 6x4 that I'm using today. It's not a, you know, popular maneuverability truck, but the trailer, compared to some of the others that I've used as lowboys, it really doesn't kind of trace the truck very well. It really cuts, and that probably is due to the dolly as well. That definitely wouldn't help things. Just behind here, that definitely would add that extra that hitch point and rotation point. Definitely would kind of swing the trailer across faster, but still, it's kind of annoying to go around corners with, and I'm having to really be conscious of trying to take these wider turns, even though I'm not necessarily doing the greatest job. It's definitely one... Oh, that was definitely loud. It's kind of an interesting mind trip, because some of the recent trailers I've been hauling have actually followed relatively well, and a lot of them have been the 53-footers, and I guess this is probably longer than a 53-footer, most definitely, so that does play into it. But no, it's one of those things that, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my brain trying to make excuses for my lack of driving ability. I don't really know. But no, let me know if you guys have issues with some of these low boys at times, and especially, I mean, I don't want to make excuses, but I will kind of give myself the benefit of the doubt here, is I do a lot of different trailers consistently. I'm jumping around from different trucks. It's very rare that I'm actually doing for example, a delivery in ATS or ETS2, whatever it is, with the same truck, same trailer configuration, back-to-back times. Pretty much never happens. In real life, however, you're most likely going to either own your own trailer, so it's just whatever one trailer, or if you have a couple, you're driving the same truck most likely, or if you are part of a fleet driver, I'd imagine even if you're hauling some different trailers, they're relatively the same kind of handling types or just general type overall, whether it's tanker or like a box trailer of some sort. For me, doing these showcases, I'm having to switch constantly from the different trucks with different clearances around them. For example, this absolute like behemoth of a truck of the W900. It's not even the largest one either, because it's not the extended wheelbase with the 8x6 chassis. But I'm going from potentially cab overs to this, with who knows, from a short little dinky trailer to absolute, well, this isn't even the largest lowboy, but sometimes driving with the oversized loads and those massive trailers, and they'll be just polar opposites, and at times in quick succession between each other in terms of recording. So it's a definite kind of challenge, and of course I'm doing commentary over this as well, live as I'm recording it and driving the delivery here. So it's not something that's necessarily the easiest just to, well, kind of pick up and just you know, drive without having potential curbing issues. But nonetheless, we're all good. Let's focus a little bit more about the engine mod. I decided to come with the Cummins N14 straight pipe mod first. As I did mention earlier, there is actually 2 that I can find so far that are taking from the same mod author. Both of them are just taking the Steam Workshop by storm. This is, of course, the Cummins M14 straight pipe, and in the next episode, as I've mentioned already, I will be doing the Detroit 60 series engine mod as well. It is an amazing sound mod as well. I mean, you can tell by the quality of this mod, it is incredible to say the least. But I will be I'll be doing the delivery very soon on the Detroit one as well, and I think these 2 are going to be sound mods that I use frequently now in some of the trucks. I mean, just listen to this. Everything is just so good in terms of the layering. It's mainly the blower noise of the or I guess I say blower, but the turbo noises and overall just the engine feel as well. It feels like a Cummins N14. It's the best way to describe it. There's been plenty of great Cummins N14 engine mods that I've covered in the past, but these, well, I say this particular mod as I'm doing it now, but even I've heard snippets of the Detroit diesel one as well. It's the overall layering and ambience of these engine sounds that are just incredibly realistic, matches straight up with anything I've seen on videos, which is as bad as it is because I've never been able to actually, well, drive a truck with these engines in it. But I've heard a lot from those, or I've seen, I guess I should say, a lot from in the comments of the workshop page for this mod, and there are plenty of people that are so impressed, and that goes for myself as well, with the realism of these sounds. So hats off to the modder. Unfortunately, I'm going to apologize if you're watching the video, and even if you're not, I'm going to apologize. I completely forgot the name of the modder for the shout out, but the link is down in the description below, so 100% check it out. Once again, it's a free mod anyway, so you're not going to risk anything in purchasing it, and I'm sure it will be updated for the different versions of ATS. Obviously, I'm running 1.47. Some of you may not be on the latest and greatest update, or I guess arguably greatest. Some of you may have a different opinion on that one. But as we roll into, I believe we're rolling into Amarillo now, we're just kind of going to wrap up here, because let's actually, for the last little bit, now that we're off the highway, and it's not, I hit the wrong button, there we go, not so annoying on the ears with the kind of, well, just the highway speed and wind noise with the windows down. We'll keep the windows down now while we're in town, and I really listen to the overall sounds of this engine. Even the idle, you hit the knocking is so good. It's just that diesel engine noise. It's just, it feels like I'm sitting in a W900. That's the best way I can describe it. Just so good. We're actually going to get over in the right hand lane here. We're going to have to wait for a car, because we do have to make a right up here into our delivery spot. So we'll merge over now. It's just so good. Every acceleration just has a feel to it. That's the best way I can describe it. Everything just ramps up so well. Obviously, I'm running an 18 speed today, so that does kind of hamper the lengths of the shifts a little bit, but overall it's just everything fits together so well and is incredibly realistic. I guess this place, the high-tech machinery place, I'm not driving around for the truck delivery, sorry, there's a sign. We're gonna go right up here. Apparently they need 2 new forklifts, I guess, so or I guess supposedly they're new. So let's go ahead and see if we can park this trailer in here first try, and not 100% sure if I can. Oh, look at that, he's done it. He's done it. You know, that's a rarity around here, but I'll take it. And let's just listen quickly to the engine shut off. Simple but good. That's the way I like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's great to be back here in ATS. I think that's pretty obvious. I'm just happy to be back doing these deliveries and checking out another amazing mod. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see around the channel. If there's different mods that you want me to check out, go ahead and tell me the name of them and where I can try and find them, because sometimes the links don't really work in YouTube anymore. I guess that's the pros and cons of some of the comment moderation methods that YouTube uses now, but nonetheless, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.